story here at 5. The St. Louis community is mourning the loss of 16-year-old Colin Brown. Just a few hours ago, police confirmed the CBC high schooler died, succumbing to his wounds after being caught in a rolling gun battle on Saturday on I-55 in South City. Tributes are building tonight, including from the St. Louis Blues. They are sharing this picture of a single hockey stick, Colin's favorite sport. The Blues will honor Colin before Saturday's game and be assisting his family. We've got team coverage of this developing story tonight. David Amilotti is following the police investigation. But we're going to start with Alexis Zotos live at Children's Hospital. And Alexis, you have been talking with Colin's family there tonight.
Corey, I've been in touch with his dad over the last several days, and they shared the heartbreaking and tragic update that Colin passed away. They have been here at Children's Hospital since Saturday night when Colin was caught in that gunfire. They had hoped for a miracle, but today they announced that he would be giving the ultimate gift of life, donating his organs. Take a look at this video his dad sent to us today. An absolute incredible showing of support inside that hospital. Friends, family, teammates, and hospital staff lining the walls of what's called a walk of life, that final moment as they took Colin to surgery to donate his organs. Colin was just 16 years old. He leaves behind his parents and his younger brother. He was a junior at CBC High School, and the school shared a photo today of his photo and his jersey draped across a chair in the chapel of the school. His dad saying tonight that they are trying to find a silver lining in what is a senseless tragedy. They said that Colin was always a helper, and they hope that his final gift of life, donating those organs, allows him to be the healer that he had always hoped to be. Reporting live in the Central West End, Alexis Zotos, First Alert 4.
Video of that walk of life, really powerful. Alexis, thank you. Let's get to our David Amilotti, who is live at police headquarters. You're getting new details on the police investigation tonight, David.
Well, this is a homicide investigation now, but what we know is very little. Police will not say anything about a description of a suspect or multiple suspects, and we have no information about the vehicle where these shots came from. What we do know from police is that detectives have received their first piece of video connected to this case back on Saturday night. We don't know what that video reveals. We don't know what type of video that is, but it is progress, and it is one piece of multiple leads SLMPD says it is following. A lot of this information is coming from folks that were either driving on I-55 when this incident happened, or residents who live in the Loughborough area. And police do say if you were either driving or you live near that I-55 stretch near Loughborough, to please come forward with any information you may have. You can find out how to do that inside your First Alert 4 News app. Now, because of this gun violence that we've seen just in the last week, and there's other incidents too, there are many in our area calling for a greater role of MSHP, Missouri State Highway Patrol, on our interstates. And for that to happen, MSHP is telling us that right now the city handles patrolling our interstates, but to take on more responsibility, there needs to be adequate staffing for Missouri State Highway Patrol, and there would be coordination with the city, SLMPD, and the state. First Alert 4 did reach out to SLMPD and the mayor's office to find out why they do not request that full-time assistance on interstates. The mayor's office says it wants to. I asked the same question to SLMPD just a couple hours ago.
There's a conversation that the city or the police department wants to have with Highway Patrol about patrolling the interstates. We're certainly open to that conversation. We're not going to turn that away. We're not going to say no, but we also have to recognize that we are not the only police department in this country that is facing a lack of manpower.
Now, because this happened on interstate, one of the questions I asked Mitch McCoy just a couple hours ago was, is the Fed going to be involved with this? And he says many agencies are involved, but he would not specifically identify the Fed or any agency currently cooperating.
And David, with so few answers about what happened, the reality is this could have been any of us. So how can police ensure drivers that it is safe to be on interstates in the city?
Police are very blunt in saying that this will not be tolerated. And McCoy is saying earlier that whenever a type of crime like this happens, the full weight of the department is placed on getting answers. Who committed the crime? And then, of course, coordinating with the circuit attorney's office to make sure whoever is responsible for this is held to the fullest extent. Live in downtown, David Amalotti, First Alert 4 investigates.
David, thank you. Police still need more help in this case. If you know anything about this shooting, you can leave an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. You can call the number you see right there on your screen or go to their website. You can get a cash reward if your tip leads to an arrest.